This is where we hold them. This is where we fight.
Welcome to Stop Listen Podcast. I am your host Jamie. You ever just have a spell of spilling shit? Not an hour ago, I somehow just toppled a coffee cup, nearly lost some electronics, and then I just spilled my Monster setting up here. I mean, if that happens again, I'll get worried. Probably not.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm not gonna do what everyone thinks I'm gonna do. Flip out, man.
So today is Saturday. I went to church today. That was, it was fine. Good vibes. Love the vibes. Okay, I'm going to have to change the lighting. They can't get that light to look right. I don't know. It's bothering me. But I went to the sauna today for a little bit. It was nice. And then I went fishing and a little hiking. The Missouri River isn't too far from here. And there's the Katy Trail that goes for hundreds of miles alongside of it. It's for biking, essentially. I mean, you can walk, of course, but it's gravel, but very smooth. And there's these little trails off here and there, and little nature trails off here and there, and you go down to the river, and there's all different kind of views. And I did a little river fishing today. I didn't get anything, but I did find a homeless encampment in the woods. I've been through that area once before and found that in a completely different area. But yeah, I was going down some trails through the woods and come up. There's multiple tents. It was not old, and it was not like a camping area. It was in the woods next to the Missouri River. And I did a much more extensive tour. Because there's a city, St. Charles, right there. I found so many so there's city, but then it's it can be heavily wooded, very close by. But last year I was really doing a bunch of hiking and really checking all these trails here and there, and I found a lot of people living down by the river. So if I ever have nowhere to go, I guess the river can sustain you. I guess. I didn't see these people out there fishing. If I was living on a river, I think I would be. I think I'd be fishing as much as possible, trying to get some food. I didn't get anything. Maybe they're at work. I ran. You get spooked when you're a kid. The way you ran. That's how I ran today, for sure. Not it was just this silently as quickly as you.
You are a wuss, part wimp and part pussy.
So we got this yearly reminder. Happy birthday to the future president. Hillary Clinton sent herself this time in 2016. 10/26/16. Oh gosh, she hates Trump so much.
Be angry, gringo. You're not smart enough to be angry. You're just mean
This
and
guy,
stupid.
look at this. Check this out. This is at a Trump rally. Sound. That's awesome. See, the Trump campaign's all about joy and saying crazy shit. Off the news of politics, this was amazing. Helen Mirren. It was a fine lady. She once was, at least. I've seen her for a while. She said Kurt Cobain, who was no longer with us in 1994. There's a fabulous documentary out there. There's lots of documentaries out there about this one. But there's one in particular really good, and it was done by the private detective that Courtney hired, seemingly to create a false alibi. But anyway, Helen Mirren is a British lady actress. If you don't know who she is, she's like, she used to do a lot of nudity like in the 80s. She's got to be in her she's got to be in her 80s, but she's a British lady, and she said it's so sad that Kurt Cobain died when he did, because he never got to see GPS. Kurt Cobain was a drug addict and allegedly offed himself. I don't believe he did. That's quite interesting. GPS is the most wonderful thing to watch my little blue dot walking down the street. Wow. That's very bizarre. That's very bizarre. Let's see what other kind of weird stuff I saved. Okay, now according to The Hill, now I know this story and I could have just grabbed a tweet about it. But I was kind of wanting to see what the other side, how they framed it. Tulsi Gabbard has actually became a Republican, which was shocking to me, and is another political prediction that I had wrong again. Because here's what I thought. I thought that Bobby Kennedy would not abandon all his work on starting his party, but in another election go-round, he should have been able to dot all the I's and cross the T's. And either he runs or Tulsi runs for that party. And that would change the landscape of politics. Because that would be very, very viable. I think that ticket, if it was Tulsi RFK or RFK Tulsi, I think that would be a strong contender next go-around. They're both on Team Trump. So let's see what they have to say. A former Democratic rep, Tulsi Gabbard, now she ran for president as a Democrat to take on Donald Trump. That's kind of a significant part of her story arc. So let's see how far we go down before they mention that. Announced Tuesday that she is joining the Republican Party, cementing her separation from the party she sought to represent just 4 years earlier. Okay, so they did make an inference to it. So nice job. That's a surprise. They did not right say it. It was just an inference, but still. Tulsi made the announcement at a rally for former President Trump, whose 2024 presidential bid she formally endorsed in August. It is because of my love for our country. Well, why am I going to read her? Why am I going to read Tulsi Gabbard's words?
And we also have former Democrat Congresswoman and 2020 Democratic presidential candidate, a woman that everybody loves. I watched her years ago where she just had so much common sense. You know, we're the party of common sense. I like to say it because it's true. Like, we don't want men playing in women's sports. We want to have borders. We want to have fair elections. You know, little things like that, common sense, right? But she's here tonight, and I'm going to just ask her to come up and say a couple of words. Tulsi Gabbard.
Aloha. You know, I was a Democrat for over 20 years. Today's Democrat, thank you. Today's Democrat Party is completely unrecognizable, which points to the clear choice that we have in this election today. When you look at the party of Kamala Harris, for example, she is anti-freedom, she is pro-censorship, She is pro-open borders, and she is pro-war. Without even pretending to care about peace, as President Trump talked about, she has shamelessly embraced the endorsement and support of warmongers like Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney and others who care more about power and feeding the military-industrial complex than they care about you, the American people, and peace. President Trump has pledged to end wars, not start them. And this is why, in the eyes of the Kamala Harris-Dick Cheney Democrat Party, they will do everything possible to try to destroy him. You'll see how they have weaponized the federal government. They have weaponized law enforcement, the Department of Justice. They have done everything possible to try to silence him, to try to remove him from the ballot, so we the people don't even have the choice to who we want to vote for. Why have they done this? Because this man has the courage to take them on and root out the deep rot of corruption in the swamp in Washington. Now, voters have made their voices heard loud and clear, not once, not twice, but 3 times in the last 3 presidential elections, nominating this man to be the Republican nominee for president because of his commitment to these fundamental American principles of freedom and peace and prosperity. USA. Now, to those of you here or those watching at home who are independent-minded people like myself, who love our country and are committed to the Constitution and to freedom, the Democrat Party has no home for people like us. But we do have a home in the Republican Party where we are welcomed with open arms by President Trump and so many of you who love our country. And it is because of my love for our country, and specifically because of the leadership that President Trump has brought to transform the Republican Party and bring it back to the party of the people and the party of peace, that I'm proud to stand here with you today, President Trump, and announce that I'm joining the Republican Party.
There it is, folks. Well, that means she's going to have a major position in this administration, I do believe. Because she didn't need to do that to... If he was going to put her in the head of some department, I mean, the VA, she'd be head of the VA, that'd be probably awesome. She would probably do a terrific job with that. She didn't need to become a Republican for that. So what is it going to be? It's going to be the Secretary of State or Secretary of Defense. That's what I believe that Tulsi Gabbard's role is going to be in this administration. And I think having someone not affiliated with a party as a Secretary of Defense or Secretary of State especially, I think may be problematic in a way. Because you're asking the Republican Party to confirm her, and she's not part of the Republican Party. Which would be fine if it was for something smaller. Which I mean, I don't know how many picks need confirmation, and I'm not going to Google it. I am about as conservative, I guess, as one could be. What that is to you is not what it is to me. I wouldn't think. And her, I mean, this is with Trump's stances changing for this election, and her inclusion in the Republican Party. The Republican Party is getting much more liberal for my liking, but that's okay. Like the libertarians, like just give up your stupid little attempt. Like you're never going to be a viable third party, but what you could be is a faction in the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. I mean, really, but I mean, why isn't there a libertarian wing in both parties? Really, because I mean, obviously Oliver Chase is more radical than, or as radical as common law on many issues, but just conservative on a select few. He would be like the Democratic libertarian, and then the Dave Smiths would be the Republican libertarians. But anyway, I digress. I'm okay with the Republican Party changing because it had to change. Trump steamrolled it. Now we got a bunch of liberals in the party. That's fine. We can have the argument. It's like my view of the death penalty. No death penalty. Most people that agree with me on politics would disagree with me on that. And the people who are on the far left are far more likely to agree with me on that stance. But that doesn't, but when you hear my rationale, then you can't say it's not conservative rationale. You cannot believe that one cannot believe that Donald Trump was unfairly prosecuted and then think we should have the death penalty. If the Justice Department was weaponized against him, it could be weaponized against anyone. Extreme circumstances, certainly, but still. Now, I think Secretary of Defense, he needs somebody he can trust that makes sure that they're doing what he wants for the country. Because was it Yemen? He told them to pull out and they didn't. They just didn't listen to him. Okay, a little bit more Tulsi Gabbard.
Now, to those of you here or those watching at home who are independent-minded people like myself, who love our country and are committed to the Constitution and to freedom, the Democrat Party has no home for people like us. But we do have a home in the Republican Party where we are welcomed with open arms by President Trump and so many of you who love our country. And it is because of my love for our country, and specifically because of the leadership that President Trump has brought to transform the Republican Party and bring it back to the party of the people and the party of peace, that I'm proud to stand here with you today, President Trump, and announce that I'm joining the Republican Party.
See, that response by Trump, I'm not sure if he knew that or not. I didn't actually intend to, I got jumbled around. Sometimes when I turn a video on, this is a very short clip I'm watching, I zone out. I zoned out a couple of times during this, the playing of this video. So you're getting a chopped up version. So you don't see me just like, I start thinking about other stuff and
to fight against and end slavery in this country. It is the party of common sense and the party that is led by a president who has the courage and strength to fight for peace.
Absolutely. Tulsi Gabbard for Secretary of Defense. And then she'll be our next president. That's what's going to happen. She's joined the Republican Party to take a high status position, and that high status will lead her to be the next president of the United States. So I'm going to close with a couple of things with courage. So I've seen this video, don't know the context. Security officers, security guards, younger dudes. Two security guards. Skinnier dude, another one's got his foot. Kicked him in the head. And they attack him. Kicked him in the head and got attacked. That took courage. That was instinct. That was a fighter. That's the kind of guy who gets up after being shot and says, fight, fight, fight. Now, this is some kind of... We got a Kamala Harris shirt here. We got a Kamala Harris sign. And they've already exposed on who this is, and she's been paid for by the Democratic Party. But you can't really hear what's going on here. So I don't got any value anyway on this clip. So this woman here starts yelling at this toddler, screaming. So this Harris supporter right there, look at that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Steps in between her and the toddler. See, walking around the Harris sign, you know, me and her may not have two tells a lot to talk about, things in common. But that was, I mean, that wasn't necessarily brave because she wasn't in harm's way, but I mean, just correcting a peer like that can be courageous, though. I mean, really. I mean, and living in this world of whatever's whatever, and we can do whatever, everything's great and everything's fine, you know, any kind of correction, that was like, hey, your behavior is wrong. Bravo. And I've already seen posts on Twitter or X when they're trying to find out who that is and saying, you know, commend that type of behavior. So, folks, it's a shame we need bravery, but we do. We need more bravery, more courage in this world. So, folks, have a great weekend. Hopefully you get to spend some time with loved ones. Find time for God. I understand churches can be complicated. I have my relationship with my church. It's not always rosy. I'm not always happy. Not always satisfied. But sometimes I am. You know? So, you know, if that's not... I don't know. I went... Just spending that time on the river, in nature like that, I mean... I wasn't like isolated nature, I mean... But, you know... That gets me closer to God, too. And as I was walking, I was listening to Johnny Cash read the New Testament. That kind of helps. But, you know, give it a try. Might work for you. So, have a great weekend. I'll see you next time. Bye.
I'll be back.
This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time.
This war stops now.
End the war. Bring freedom to our people.
No. No more tricks. No more lies. Only truth.
This is where we hold them! This is where we fight!